Notre Devil's Digest. Unlike other road games, the ones that you did come up winning, you started this road game at Kansas State much faster, both on offense and defense. Anything different in the approach, or is this really just the flow of the game what Kansas State did or did not present?
No, I think our guys were just dialed in, and then we made a great play. I mean, it's amazing what momentum does. I mean, you make a great play the second play of the game, and and the rest was history. So that was a game-changing play, that second play of the game, just from a momentum perspective. And the best thing that we did was that we then, the next drive, we held them on a 3rd and 1, held them on a 4th and 1, and then we went down and scored again. And then we, got up 14 points there. And that was where we were actually lacking. We weren't starting necessarily slowing games. It was that middle portion. And we cleaned that up in this game.
Chris Carter, another source. Kenny, with this being senior day, I had a question about Ben Coleman. Do you think he'd be back next year, or apply to be back next year, or is he leaving?
So he's got another year. That's a conversation that we're going to have. I actually have a meeting with the Leadership Council. We're going to talk about senior day. Obviously, the game is so much different now with how many years of eligibility people have. What is this day? Is this a senior in school? Is this existing eligibility? Is this existing eligibility and not returning? Like, I'm making a decision to go pro. At this stage, you should have a pretty good clue what you want to do. So I do think I do want to prevent somebody from walking in senior day and then all of a sudden them coming back and walking another senior day. It's like, no, that should be a moment that's your last time on that field. You should know when you enter the stadium that this is the last time that I'm ever going to have a helmet on in this stadium. And I want to keep that. So we're going to navigate that with the Leadership Council here this afternoon and figure out how we want to manage that.
His is kind of to be determined, possibly.
Yes.
And is there anybody else on top of your mind that kind of worry?
I think anybody who has not existed eligibility, I personally think there should be a really long, hard thought about coming back, if not leaning to that.
Kenny Dillingham with the Athletic. I think you were asked after Saturday's game if you saw this coming at the beginning of the season, and you said all the transfer maneuvering it was hard. When did you see that something like this might be possible?
To say I saw us being at 8-2 and said, "Oh, this is what I expected." You always expect to win. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't look at the macro very much of like how many wins are you going to achieve. It's so hard because it's one play away. We're 4 plays away from having 4 losses. I mean, that's just we're a couple plays away from having 10 wins. Like, that's the nature of football. So, like, I've never looked at it like that. I always look at it like, man, we can win every game on our schedule. Now, we can lose every game on our schedule too, but we can win every game. So when I noticed it was like I said, the Mississippi State game, the first half of that game, when we came out and, we were physical, we played hard, we played with a passion, and then just the guys' camaraderie throughout it was when I was like, okay, these guys, they got something to them. And I always knew that, but it was when you see it live in a game setting, it kind of confirmed that, all right, we got something about ourselves.
Craig, Jordyn, Jake Garcia, and Ryan.
Oh.
Hey, Coach, in the back here. Way back.
Oh, hi.
Look at this. How you doing? Hey, what does it mean to you and this program, coaching staff, to be finally getting some national recognition and be ranked and where you're at?
Oh, yeah, I'm making a huge cut up of all the great things being said about us. I really am. Showing it to the team, we've made it. So that's what I'm telling them. We've made it. You guys have accomplished it. You guys did what you wanted to do. Here are all the awesome things being said. And we still have a football game to play. I mean, it's so just comical to me. Like, I could care less. It's just comedy. The only thing it's positive for is, recruiting. That's real. We've already sold out. There was somebody sent me, there was 1,000 person wait line for tickets. Like, that should be every single game. Like, because it's going to be fun now. Like, for us, it's going to be miserable still. Every game day is miserable for me. But not unless you win. But it's the process for the Valley to be able to experience what they get to experience, which is an unbelievable college football environment on Saturday, is what we need to get people bought back into here. That there's nothing that can replicate it. So this is going to be that injury game We haven't had one like this yet since I've been here. This is going to be the game that people can really, feel, wow, this is fun. This is exciting.
A quick follow-up, Coach. Just how important is it to be playing number 14 BYU this weekend when you're ranked where you are?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, they're ranked above us, and, they have one loss in the football season. They're very close to being undefeated in the season. And it's a great challenge for our guys, especially, at home, especially if we're coming off an emotional win. They're coming off an emotional loss. We both somewhat control our own destiny. So which team should actually have a little bit more vinegar in them, piss and vinegar in them? Probably the team that just came off some negative. Not the team that's being told how great we are. It's the team that's being, questioned right now. So they definitely have an advantage when it comes to, mindset based off of the last week's game. Like, they're going to come into this game like it's the Super Bowl, which it is. It's the same value for both sides. But they're going to come into this thing with a really good head football coach and a really good team, expecting to win and playing with a little bit of something extra.
Jordyn, Jake, Ryan.
Hey, Kenny, Jordyn, Sports 360 AZ. For the casual fan, it's tough to see all that a center does. But for Leaf entering his senior day, how has he changed the culture, and what are some of the things behind the scenes, on the field, off the field, that he has done this game?
Yeah, his consistency is remarkable. He's he's the same person every single day. Shows up, works really hard, really good person, makes good decisions on and off the field. He loves football. He has a lot of fun. He does this thing, Katriga. I don't know what it is, but he does it all the time. I haven't quite figured it out, but you can ask him. And it's what the program wants to be about. And to see him, it's just awesome to see him. He's going to have a very successful life in whatever he chooses to do.
Hey Kenny, Jake Garcia, 12 News. Given that Sam's dad went to BYU and so did his brother, do you feel the need to have a conversation with him at all this week about the emotions that he's going to probably be coming into the game with? Do you worry about him getting too high, just given the family history with that school?
No. Sam's emotionally involved every game. He's super competitive. I mean, you guys saw the videos after the games of him screaming, jumping around. I'm just glad he's not trying to run people over anymore. But that's who Sam is. That's what makes him different, is he's just so passionate about the game that I don't know if he can raise his passion level. Like, it's already at the tip top. I don't know if he has a higher level. Maybe he does, but that'd be a shock to me because he always plays this game with an unbelievable passion and care level. So not much to talk about from that perspective. Just another football game, one game at a time. Go take care of business. Go play as hard as you can and try to win.
Ryan and Dean.
Yeah, Coach Ryan Myers, Devil's Digest. Jordyn Tyson adds to the list of players who have won individual Big 12 honors this week, winning Offensive Player of the Week for you guys. What does that mean for you as a present coach for the program, having so many different players that have been able to win individual accolades along with the team overall success?
Yeah, it's amazing that you get selfish awards when teams win. And we talk about that all the time. People get drafted when you're on a winning team. You get awards when you're on a winning team. You don't get those things, right, when you're on a losing team. So in order to be selfish, you actually have to sacrifice for the good of the team. Because if you don't make the sacrifices to make the team good, then you're never going to reap the individual rewards maybe you deserve. And I think it's just a great testament that our guys have really bought into the team mentality. And then you see guys getting individual rewards for that team mentality. Because nobody's out there playing this game selfish right now on our football team. Are they making, did Jordyn have an incredible night? Yes, he did. And he deserves all the awards he deserves. But if you ask Jordyn, he'd give away the award to make sure we won the football game. And that's kind of the mindset of our team.
All right, that's right. Damon, then Max.
Hey, Coach Damon Allred, Arizona Sports. What are your impressions of Coach Sitake, not only this season, but over the last several years as well?
Well, he's one of the best defensive minds in football. We've played him. I've played him multiple times. Phenomenal defensive coach. He's he's definitely in the top 3 of just best people in the profession from a head coaching perspective. Like, you would want to have your child play for him. Like, he's just an unbelievable person. You can just see his energy with the players, his connection with the players. That's why they play really hard for him, and they play extremely hard. This team plays hard and physical because the connection that you can see that he builds. So he's a phenomenal football coach. He's done an incredible job there. He's done an incredible job this year. Like I said, I truly think it's because, one, he's a phenomenal football coach and defensive mind, but two, I think those guys really believe in him and really want to play for him. And when he says something, they listen and they believe it, and they go and try to achieve it.
Max and Doug.
I think Eddie, Max back here. Max
Hi.
Good, Arizona's family, good to see you. This is the second straight week you're playing a ranked team coming off of a loss, obviously, and more importantly than that, BYU obviously offensively has been criticized in many ways, it seems, by a lot of people, especially the last couple of weeks, for staying in games and not scoring enough. What have you seen, at least from them offensively, in Retzloff and the offense that they've run, and specifically from the film against Kansas, that maybe kind of tells the story of where the offense is right now?
Yeah, I don't really worry about people criticizing people. We were told last week we didn't play anybody and we sucked. So if you listen to what other people's perspectives of teams are, you're gonna get lost in the stuff that doesn't matter. What matters is their football team has one loss. They find ways to win. Their quarterback extends plays. He makes plays in big moments of the games. He's hard and slippery to get down. They run the football really well in some football games. They've been really, really efficient. And then they're really good with the turnover margin. So in terms of their offense, they actually run a lot of the things we run. Like there's actually a ton of similarities between schematically what they do on offense and what we do on offense. So I think the scheme is good. I think the players are good. And there's a reason they were undefeated till last week, and it's hard to go undefeated in college football. But there's a reason they're ranked above us right now, and it's not an accident.
Doug Franz, Upload Podcast. 3 questions: disrespect, contract, and tiebreakers. Number one, you mentioned a couple times yesterday or Saturday and just now that the players were sick of it. That you kind of played off how many people have been against them media-wise, prognostication. Yet you counted who actually said you were going to win. So did you actually take that a little personal, disrespect-wise?
No, I just play off of it. I really don't care. It really doesn't matter to me at all. The guys definitely, 18 to 22 years old. I've said it before. If you think these guys aren't on social media, like you're living under a rock. Like that's all they do. Like you get on the bus and everybody's reading every nice tweet or bad tweet about us, right? So they definitely had a little bit of extra energy because of that. You could kind of feel it in pregame meal.
Second question, Indiana just raised the bar for everybody has a coach that's done well earlier than anybody expected. Are you in contract talks with the university?
I personally am not. I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about our assistants right now. Then I'm worried about our players in NIL. So I'm worried about everybody else associated with the program, everybody else that's making us successful right now.
And number 3, you control your own destiny except for one strange scenario. Did you actually look up tiebreakers? Do you know them? Do you care about them?
Oh, I have no clue. I literally have no. Somebody was telling me if we win and somebody else loses, and then like ranch dressing falls on a wing, I don't really know. It just play the very best you can play, prepare the very best you can prepare, and like I told the guys last week in my leadership council meeting, like don't get lost in the sauce. Like just be the very best we can be over and over again, and wherever we end up is the best we could have ever done. That's it. Like you can wish and hope, but if you just play the very best you can play and prepare the very best you can prepare, then regardless of what happens, it's the very maximum you could have ever achieved anyways. So what else do you want? So I have no clue the tiebreaker. Some of the players probably do. I couldn't even tell you.
Blake.
Like even some other source, the message from the beginning has been to activate the Valley, to have a game in November, ranked game with significant impact late in the season. What does that mean for you, the program, the team?
Well, great environment, right? The one thing I would say is if you have tickets and you're an ASU fan, make sure they go to ASU fans, right? There's a lot of BYU fans in the Valley, right? So let's make sure if you're an ASU fan and you own a ticket and you're selling it or you're giving it away, make them show you an ASU hat or an ASU shirt, show something ASU in order to get that ticket because I think it's one of the most expensive tickets in college football right now are the tickets to this game on Saturday, and that's super exciting just because the environment for the guys when they run out of the tunnel, that's real. to be loud, right, on third downs, on fourth downs is real. And I mean, I can't wait until we hit our first third down, their offense, our defense, and the place just stands up and erupts. And that's going to be exciting.
Kenny, you mentioned last week that your team needs, in regards to outside expectations, whatever they may be, that your team needs an ability to not care. But you just mentioned they're always on their phone. How hard is that to coach, just to shut out everything and just concentrate on what
Well, I just show them what's actually being said. I don't like avoid it or try to trick them. So when people are saying bad things, I show them the bad things. Now people are saying these good things. I have like a 3-minute videotape of everybody saying how great we are. Like, let's not hide from what people are saying. Let's approach it. Like today, we started our meeting, and I started with, we're the number 21 team in the country. Like, and everybody booed. They're like, what are you doing? Because they know, like, they know me. Like, it's like, who cares? Like, nobody cares. Nobody in 3 years is going to say, remember when ASU was ranked 21 in week 11 in 2024? What does that even mean? It's an irrelevant thing, right? What matters is just maximizing the day and repeating and repeating and repeating. So I try to do that just through like honesty, not any games. Just like, here it is. Are we good? Does anybody really care? Let's move along. Like, let's keep the main thing the main thing.
Sammy and then Michael.
Coach, you're one of the more active coaches on social media. You just mentioned the value that to your players, how they're always on their phone. How do you approach that? What do you think about it when it comes to operating your Twitter page or Instagram? How does that?
Yeah, well, I operate it, obviously. So if there's spelling errors, 100% on me. That's how you know it's genuine, you know? Yeah, it's the world we live in. Like I said, you're living under a rock if you're not using it. I try to use it to brand our players. I try to use it to brand, narratives, right? I don't use it like for myself, if that makes sense. Like I don't use like personal social medias. What's up?
You don't have a burner?
Oh yeah, no. Like a burner? What is that? Like a new social? And I'm like, golly, I'm getting behind. But there's new ones all the time. So, but no, I mean, I use it to try to brand our players. Like X the other day, 100-yard landlord with a pick. Like I put it on the other day. Martell Hughes, who's in the Barrett Honor School. Right? You never know when somebody's going to see that, create a connection with somebody in the NIL era. Be like, oh, that kid who got a blocked punt is in the Barrett School. I went to the Barrett School. I own a business. Maybe I want that dude to represent my business. Maybe, 100-yard landlord. Wow, he got a pick. He's on the leadership council. Well, I own condos. Maybe I want to give him free rent and an awesome condo for him to do a big advertisement of the 100-yard landlord. Right? I don't know. But I know that if you don't put things out there for the guys, it's they're not going to get anything. So I'm just trying to do my part and trying to help them and, see if we can shake some trees.
Coach, you're talking obviously defense. I mean, overall solid performance, but Shamari's performance, causing the first interception, the fumble, and then fittingly getting that last interception. Just your thought of it, like his attitude going into the whole game and just the way he performed and how it rubbed off on the defense.
Yeah, he's playing at a high level. Very high level. His move to nickel, I think, was really good for him with his physicality because he's a very, very physical nickel. And obviously, post-safety defenses, you lose the edge of your defense if your nickel can get blocked consistently. So the fact that he can play at that level of physicality is impressive. He's very, very impressed with how he's playing, the passion he's playing with, the intelligence he's playing with. Very impressed. He's done a phenomenal job this year.
Back in the back again. Do you like the 1:30 kickoff Saturday?
Yeah.
Does it matter?
Night games, obviously, there's some data behind night games and, opposing quarterback, QBR and stuff like that. But I'm not too concerned about it. It is what it is. That thing's going to be rocking. I remember the last day game that had probably a sold-out crowd at this level of intensity was Notre Dame. And that was an unbelievable crowd. What was that, 10 years ago now? And that was also a day game. It was a different time of year. That was 105 out, right? It wasn't in November. But it's good for us that we're playing meaningful football in November, specifically here, because the weather is so nice. Who wouldn't want to be at the game? Like, where else would you want to be than in Sundevils State or Mountain America Stadium at 1:30 on Saturday? And that's why the ticket prices are so high. We live in the best city in America. Everybody's moving back. If you left, you're back, right? Because it's 70 degrees out in the middle of November. And you get to watch meaningful football. I mean, what else is there to do? Like, that is the ticket. I'm excited to see how many people tailgate, because I actually think we're going to have a great turnout in the tailgating stuff outside as well.
Can you talk about Sitake's brilliance on defense? What makes him and their scheme so difficult, and anything else that stands out about them?
Yeah, the versatility of it. 3 down, 4 down, 1 high, 2 high. They're not scared to play a safety at 18 yards deep over somebody and say, run it. You're like, well, you're down a hat in the run game. Run it. Go. Run it again. Or it's cover 0. Throw it again. Like, the way he dictates to offenses, I think, is unique. You know, a lot of people say they want to take people away or say they want to take something away. But anytime you take something away, you're obviously vulnerable to something else. And coaches are sometimes paranoid that if I do this, then they're going to do this. And he does a really good job trying to take away a team's strengths. And he's done it for a long time.
Do you anticipate they'll have a game plan for Jordyn Tyson?
Yes. I'm 100% positive they're going to have a game plan for Jordyn. What that is, do they think one of their guys can match up versus him? Do they think they need to spin coverage to him? Whatever that is, I don't know. If he wants to let me know, I'd appreciate it. But if he doesn't want to let me know, then, hopefully it doesn't work because they're definitely going to have a game plan. He's going to do a great job preparing their guys. And, we're going to have other guys step up, and we got to be able to run the ball more effectively this week than we did last week.
Danny?
Hey, Coach. The Big 12 features a lot of talented running backs. And how have you kind of felt like your rushing defense has kind of evolved throughout the season to kind of, combat some of these talented backs?
Yeah, I think it's been, for the most part, really good. A little bit inconsistent in versus UCF. There's a little bit of inconsistency there. But I think our run defense has been one of the strengths of our football team. And we got to stop the run this week too. I mean, when you're a run play action football team on first down and you can establish the run, that opens everything up. And that's the identity of this team is run play action. Obviously some 5-step on early downs, but we got to be able to stop the run early to get them into situations to where they're trying to complete third downs. And, home games, third downs should be an advantage for the home team if we're allowed with this sold out crowd.
Last 2 questions, Brian and Chris.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned the need for the targets step up this week, obviously covering for Jordyn. Shimon went down a little bit in that first half on Saturday. He obviously finished the game, but you have an update on injuries across the board for your team?
Yeah, everybody that played last week should be good this week. There's no changes there. Jake, tweaked his hamstring last week late in the week, and we didn't know. He ended up not being able to go on Friday's practice, so we didn't travel him because he wasn't going to be able to go. So that's the only guy that from last Monday that somewhat changed. He's questionable to doubtful. But other than that, it's status quo when it comes to injuries. Just a lot of bumps and bruises.
So Watley's good as well?
Yes. There was not a serious, knock on wood, injury in the football game.
Last question, Chris.
Kenny, what do you remember about 2004, which is the last time the ASU was undefeated at home, and what would it mean for that to happen this year?
2004, I was 14. The only thing I can really think of is that's right around when Halo 1 came out, or Halo 2. So I was either watching games or probably playing Halo 2 with people in high school. That's really all. I was a freshman in high school. I was in the Junior Little League World Series. We were one game away from making it to the World Series. We lost to Hawaii that year, but not much other than that.
What would it mean, though, for that to happen this year?
It'd be awesome. I mean, we talk about, you got to protect home field. Coach Hines Ward brought a mentality. He said something to me after the second home game. He's like, yeah, we used to talk about in Pittsburgh all the time. Just win at home, split on the road. And you're always in the playoffs. You'll always have a good year. Just win every game at home, split on the road. And it's kind of funny now you look at us right now, and we've won at home, and we've almost, split on the road, close to splitting on the road so far. And I think it's come to fruition. So it'd be an exciting thing to send the seniors out undefeated at home for the first time since most of their birth. So